They thought their new human was their ticket to solving every problem that came their way. They sent him down on exploration trips to every death world they came across, even when the human himself had a bad feeling about it. Their higher-ups had told them that humans were unstoppable machines, built and shaped by danger. Granted, their human had certainly proved himself in that regard. They watched in awe as the human returned to the ship seemingly unscathed from every hazardous excursion. This time they tried to send the human to a world that the fleshy ape had taken one look at and responded with a simple, no. He said that there were too many simultaneous hazards for the planet to be remotely survivable for any known form of life. Despite his begging, they ordered him to survey the planet. Immediately things began to go wrong. High temperatures caused his dropship to begin to overheat. Even its armor plating began to lose its strength. The human, nonetheless, had a strong sense of duty, and he managed to touch down on the planet, and he got himself into an extreme survival suit humans had invented to increase their already supreme environmental survivability. Every other message he sent back to the ship was a complaint about the conditions, from the extreme heat to the higher winds and apparent vortexes in the area. As usual, the human miraculously finished the survey and made it back to the ship, but something that went terribly wrong. The heat had penetrated through the exhaust manifold of the dropship and had overheated the engines themselves. The human, sensing danger, immediately darted away from the ship as it violently exploded. At that moment, the emergency retrieval team quickly descended on the planet. Upon reaching the human's landing site, they found their intrepid hero, with a metal shard from the destroyed ship buried deep inside the soft flesh of his abdomen. The ship's doctor assured them this was a typical injury for humans. The retrieval team then noted that the human was leaking copious amounts of a thick, dark red substance from his wound. No matter, the doctor said. Just get him up here. The human was brought into the medical bay and stripped out of his survival suit. At this point, he had leaked fluid onto almost every surface of the chamber. His skin, normally flush in what he was told was a signal of a healthy human, was extremely pale. He wasn't breathing either. It was okay though. He was told a human could be revived by a precise electrical shock to the chest. As he prepped to have the metal shard removed, he applied the shock. Nothing happened. He still would not wake. 2 hours later, and the doctor had the human's body returned to a near-perfect state, if not for the rather creepy pallor his skin now had. If he were human, he'd be getting chills looking at him. A couple more hours and the doctor's optimism began to break. He had been told, just do this and your human will be good as new. If that doesn't work, try this. He had exhausted his whole list of things known to fix a human. Now he really did go cold in his species' internal sensation of horror. He finally realized the human was dead. The individual of the so-called species of miracles had irretrievably shut down, never to awake again. And he chilled even further when he realized this was their fault. They had sent the human to all of these dangerous worlds, no matter how much the poor creature pleaded and begged. They had fallen for the hype around humans, and now their crewmate was gone forever. They thought him unstoppable, and now they had to bury him. The captain of the ship, upon learning this, got the Office of Galactic Management on the line, and as per protocol reported a casualty. It was just their luck that the being to pick up was a human. She was understandably displeased. "What did you think was going to happen?" she screeched, among other vulgar words in a few of the humans' myriad languages. They were ordered to report to the nearest starport immediately, and turn over the human's body for culturally proper disposal. Knowing that the entire fiasco was entirely blamed on them, they complied without question, despite being in the middle of a top-priority galactic mapping mission. It turned out, multiple ships across the galaxy had also run into this issue. By the time they reached the starbase, the Unanet streams were alive with news of human casualties on ships and bases of all types across the explored domain of spacefaring species. They all went the same way. The higher-ups on the ship or station expected too much out of their humans, and before they could register what was happening, their humans were mortally wounded or grievously ill. Adding to the debacle was the fact that since humans were still a very new race of the galaxy, most medics had limited to no knowledge on how to treat their suddenly dying friends. By the time their human was put into a stasis pod for transport back to Earth, the recorded number of human deaths was well over 200, out of the mere 2,000 deployed on non-human run ships or bases. Headlines blared everywhere. Massive misunderstandings lead to mass human casualties. Following the incident, humans were formally apologized to by every sector of the galactic community, and reforms were made that gave them far more input on their deployments, and it was made mandatory that all ships bearing humans must have a human medic aboard. The human was returned to his home planet for cremation, as was the tradition for his species. A public service announcement was broadcast detailing what exactly a ship should expect out of a human on their base or ship. Much to the galaxy's relief, the humans were quick to forgive. They were satisfied simply with the fact that their error had been corrected. Years later, and humanity is one of the strongest partners to galactic society, bringing their many strengths to the table, eager to help. There is truly no species quite like them.